So the New York Knicks have won 8 games in a row. Early on in the season, we were playing some ugly basketball. Coach Tibb was on the hot seat. RJ Barrett. I was so uncertain of his future, and everything has completely changed. Give credit where it's due. Coach Thibodeau, he's been the foundation for this win streak. The right rotations, the guys are playing hard. They believe in each other. The Knicks can beat anyone in the Eastern Conference. I understand that a lot of these teams have been banged up and haven't been great to begin with, but the Knicks are building something much larger than an 8-game winning streak. I mean, right now, 18 and 13. That's exactly where we need to be. That's going to bump us into, I want to say, a tie with the Sixers for that 5th seed. And we can probably get as far up as the 3 seed. I mean, even if we get that 4th seed, that's going to be home court advantage. I love what this team has going on, especially the bench. It's a young team. We have a ton of picks. We might even be able to get aggressive at the trade deadline if necessary. In this game, I was certainly impressed with Emmanuel Quickley. 23 minutes, 22 points. Miles McBride, 10 points in 19 minutes. The starting lineup, though, that's what's been carrying us. I mean, Quentin Grimes, 19 points, 32 minutes. Everyone's been efficient, which is the big thing. RJ Barrett, 8 of 19. 1 of 6 from 3. RJ's been... He's been shooting the 3 well during the streak. The past couple of games hasn't exactly found a shot, but he's doing a good job of just making those layups, something that he struggled with last year. Randall, 15, 12, and 5. Same thing, 1 of 6 from 3. The Knicks in this game were 43% from 3, despite RJ and Randall going 2 for 12, which is kind of crazy, but when you're getting 4 of 8 from Grimes and 2 of 5 from Brunson, 5 of 6 from IQ, 2 of 5 from McBride, Makai Luke, 1 of 2. Archie Diakina. I can't even say this guy's name, bro, because he like rarely plays. Ryan Archie Dinakio. I don't even, bro. That's like the hardest name I've ever said in my life. Archie Diakina, I think is how you say it. I don't know why I could not pronounce his name, but obviously we brought him in as a free agent. I think he was with Chicago last year. Cam, Rose, Fournier, nothing new. They're not a part of this rotation, which is unfortunate too, because I had high praise for Cam, especially after that first game, but he wasn't doing much. Like, Cam was getting minutes, but he wasn't producing. The problem with Cam is just he tries to do too much, and if Cam just played the role as a role player, off-ball 3-and-D guy, because Cam's an incredible catch-and-shoot shooter, but he's just a bad shot selection guy. But hey, Mitchell Robinson, I haven't mentioned him. 9 points, 11 rebounds, 3 steals, no blocks, which is kind of funny for Mitch. I would have loved another point for a double-double for my fantasy team, but I'm not complaining certainly at all about what Mitch did in this game. The Knicks as a whole, they played really good defense tonight. I mean, it wasn't like A+ or anything like that, but it was definitely good defense tonight. They held the Warriors to 94 points. The offense was the thing, though. I mean, the offense was essentially unstoppable. And moving forward, I mean, the Knicks are going up against Toronto tomorrow on a back-to-back. The Bulls, those 2 games are both against teams under 500. The Raptors are 5 under. The Bulls are 6 under. And then you've got 2 tough teams in Philly, Dallas, and then once again, you play the Spurs, you play the Rockets, and then you go up against a tough defensive team in Phoenix. So we're going to get a good glimpse of who the Knicks are this next week or so. They've done a great job of beating up on some bad teams. I mean, if you look at the Knicks winning streak, right? I mean, it's come against what? It started off with the Cavs and then the Hawks. And then after that, no one good. A lot of people are definitely going to talk about that. But, I mean, the Nets is the same thing. They've been beating up on some bad teams. And the Knicks are just really finding themselves, to be real with you. Jalen Brunson has definitely been the answer. Last season, the Knicks just struggled at the point guard position. Alec Burks was the starter, and it didn't make much sense. Coach Tibb just kind of fell in love with him, but this year, Coach Tibb hasn't fell in love with anyone, thankfully. Or at least he hasn't fell in love with the wrong person, I guess, is how I should phrase that better. I mean, Knicks, they were just in on this game from the start. I mean, they dropped 33 in the first, 36 in the second. Third quarter is normally where the Warriors get it going, but they held them to just 25. The Knicks scored 31, and then the fourth quarter, the Warriors scored 13. The Knicks had 32. The backup unit is not like we call it the backups, but the Knicks' strength is definitely the starting lineup, but their strength is definitely a strength that they have is definitely the second unit because not many benches in the NBA can bring in Emmanuel quickly. I mean, he'd be starting for a lot of teams. Isaiah Hartenstein is a good playmaker. He defends. He had a steal tonight. He also had 3 assists. It wasn't the best game from Isaiah, but he was active. Like he was good from the eye test. Like I had no problems. I was watching him at the end, and he was making some good plays. I mean, Jericho Sims played 18 minutes and 8 points and 7 rebounds. This like Hartenstein and Sims combo is kind of fun to watch, honestly. And it'll be cool to see what the Knicks do moving forward. I really hope we actually don't trade Cam. I want to keep him around, and I'm not saying we should extend him or anything, but just kind of keep him and because he definitely has potential, and eventually I feel like Cam is going to kind of buy in more and become a good bench player for us. Because imagine if we can get IQ, Cam, and like Isaiah off the bench. I mean, Sims and McBride definitely deserve to be in there. Like McBride's been a huge reason why we're winning because we've gone to him off of the bench over some other options. And like normally we'd go to Quentin Grimes off the bench, but now that he's starting, we've got McBride. And it's just a pretty good feeling right now. The Knicks they're playing amazing level basketball, and the sky's the limit. I mean, if they just can keep winning, I mean, we're gonna start to talk about this team being all the way up into that top 4 type of territory. I mean, the Cavs are 21-11, the Knicks are 18-13, so we've got work to do. There's no doubt about it. But where the Knicks started, where the Knicks were a month ago. I mean, I was watching the Knicks games, but I wasn't even making videos. Like, it was bad. Like, what was I supposed to say? The Knicks they were unwatchable. It's like, if you were watching the games, obviously, you're a diehard Knicks fan. I wasn't even watching all of them, being real with you guys. There was a point where I was, but I just stopped, bro. And I know, like, as a content creator for the Knicks, like, that's not what you want to hear, but I mean, I've been a Knicks fan my entire life, and I wonder if I'm ever going to see them get a championship. And I'm not even, like, old, bro. Like, I'm 20. I just turned 24, so like I'm wondering if am I ever going to see this Knicks team win a championship. And this team is not a championship level team, at least right now. I mean, but they definitely are trending in the right direction. I haven't been able to say that for the Knicks in a while. That this team is heading in the right direction and they're on course. It's going to come down to development. I don't think we need to go out there and get a superstar, right? But if we can just develop these players and hit our draft picks and maybe bring in a veteran in free agency. Like we brought in Brunson, look how that worked out. Maybe there's another wing or something or a forward that we can go to. I mean, Randall and RJ, that's definitely our 2 guys to build around. Jalen Brunson too, and then Mitch and some role players should be good. But I just don't want the Knicks to be picking inside of the top 10 of the draft, like because every time we do, we always get screwed over. I mean, like when was the last time the Knicks we're expected to have a pick and went below that? It's always above it or at that. Like if we're projected to get the 8th pick, it's always, oh, here's the 11th pick or here's the 8th pick. It's never, oh, the 6th pick, 5th pick. So I just know, man. I mean, the Knicks, they've done a decent job drafting. Like, don't get me wrong. Obviously, there's been some picks that, like, Kevin Knox and Frank Ntilikina, like, there's been some bad picks, but there's also been some excellent picks, right? Like, a lot of these guys, actually literally the majority of the guys you're seeing on the court were drafted by the Knicks. And a lot of these guys are my age or younger. Like I said, 24, 23, 25, 20, like that type of age. So the Knicks, they have a chance to do something special this season. Will they continue to improve? They're defending right now, and that's been the kind of the, I don't want to say like that's kind of been like the thing that has kind of like catapulted the Knicks is just their defense. The Knicks, they were an amazing defensive team during that COVID season, the shortened year. And that's why they overachieved. If the Knicks can continue to defend like this, I mean, knocking down threes will be big too. I mean, the Knicks are just kind of a slower pace type of team. They're not going to like push it in transition. I mean, they will at times, but they're not going to be that like a high flying type of team like the Memphis Grizzlies or anything like that. So defending is going to be crucial, and it's just an added bonus when the Knicks are knocking down threes because we know Randall and RJ are not the best shooters, but we know Brunson and Quentin are going to be able to do that. Mitch doesn't shoot, obviously. And then the bench, I mean, Emmanuel quickly, he has his moments. Like, IQ sometimes looks like the best player on the court. Sometimes he is non-existent. They haven't been able to give him a consistent role, though, because IQ, he'd be starting, he'd be coming off the bench. I mean, it's clear now that he's backing up Brunson. And a lot of Knicks fans, I wasn't one of them. And, well, in a sense, I'll be the first to tell you, I was one of the Knicks fans who was like, we don't exactly need Brunson. we might as well just start IQ. I mean, if that happened, we would be probably not. We would absolutely be below 500 right now. There's no doubt about it. I mean, the fact that like we would just not be a good team, man, without Brunson. He's been the guy that has really brought us out of the bottom, and IQ is going up against second units, which is great. Now, once we did sign Brunson, I started to be a lot more objective, and I realized that he's a good player. I mean, John Morant put out a tweet. Same with Desmond Bain and Mikal Bridges talking about how Brunson was such a good player and tough to guard. And then, of course, in the playoffs and the connection to the Knicks. And the more I thought about it, there's a lot of players in the NBA, especially point guards, who make more money than Brunson that aren't as good. Like D'Angelo Russell, right? Benson. Like, these guys are making more money than Brunson, and they're not as good. So, and not to mention that the Knicks already had a good defensive team, right? I mean, they were 11th last season. This season definitely are going to be better. So going out and getting an offensive-minded point guard was just what we needed. We did not need a defensive-minded point guard, right? And I've been rambling a ton, but I'm just happy where the team is, and it's fun to watch. Like, the Knicks are fun to watch right now, and that's something that I wasn't sure if I'd be saying a couple of weeks ago, a month ago, but I'm out, guys. Peace.